I recently saw this post on Twitter that was pretty deep and it actually got me thinking. At Drew Law Design said, you meet your 15-year-old self. You are allowed to say 3 words. What do you say? Ladies, I'm so curious. What would the 3 words be that you would tell your teenage self and why?
Whew. I think I would say go for it. And looking back now, I think that's what I did. I think that's what I did when I was 15, trying to figure it out. You're a little scared. What am I going to do? People always ask you, what do you want to do when you grow up? And you're like, I don't really know. But I think go for it. And that's what I ended up doing. At 17 years old, I moved to New York without knowing a soul. I lived with Eileen Ford of the Ford Modeling Agency. Lonnie, yes, I was a model.
Yes, I know.
I love it.
I know you were a model.
And I think that's what I would say to my 15-year-old is go for it, because I always say, take a meeting. You always take a meeting. Somebody says, would you meet with so-and-so? I always say yes, because you never know what's going to come out of that meeting. So go for it. Live your best life. And I said the other day to my kids, I said, kids are saying, YOLO. And my son Jack said, Mom, nobody's saying YOLO but you. But anyways, I would say
no,
go
I'm
for it to
living
my
by
15-year-old. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, but that's hilarious. When I was 15, I was in the projects in the crack era, didn't have no money, was walking to school. I had about 5 pair of jeans. Sometimes I was hungry. If I had to say 3 words, it would be life gets better. And, because there were dark times, but I would say those 3 things to myself. And I think that would be the encouragement that I needed. And it does. Life gets better if you work at it. I'll tell you
That's
that.
right.
I like that. I like that.
I love that.
I would have told myself, just say no. I think that probably is the one thing in my life that has caused me heartache, or the things that I regret most are just not knowing how to say no. I think when I was younger, I really was a people pleaser and I wanted people to like me and I never wanted to offend anyone. And now looking back, if there was one thing I would want to instill in my 15-year-old Adrian would be, it's okay to say no. Like, just say no. Just say no to that man you should have never dated in the first place. Just say no to that party you didn't want to go to. Just say no to things that don't make your heart happy. Like, I wish I could have learned that so much earlier in my life, because it really could have saved me from just things that were not good for me, things that hurt my heart, and that, looking back even now, I'm just getting used to it.
But it gave you...
Some of it I could have lived without. I could have lived without some of it. There's some men I could have said no to, and I could have been just fine without them.
Yeah. I would piggyback on that. I think also sometimes we're afraid to say no, but there's so much power in no. If you can say no, you're choosing you instead of choosing the party, instead of choosing the boy or the girl, whatever it is. But I'm glad you said that, because maybe some of the girls will hear that it's okay to say no.
Yes.
That's
yes,
true. Maybe
it's
some
okay.
will.
Yeah,
say no
absolutely.
to that last drink.
That's right. That's right.
Say no to drugs. Thank God I never had
no
that.
to
That
drugs,
wasn't my thing.
yes.
But still.
Yeah. No to
Say
letting
no to
him
peer
touch where
pressure.
you know you don't really want him to touch. That's okay.
Whoa.
That is literally what I'm trying to say, Garcelle. It was moments like that I absolutely wish I just was like, no, this is not what I want. I'm uncomfortable. Like, there's so many areas in my life that I look back on and I'm like, wow, I wish I had the courage to say no, and that if that person would have told me they didn't like me anymore or would have spoken badly, that I also would have been confident enough to been like, exactly like you just did. Oh, well. And I didn't feel that way at that time. I really didn't think I was strong enough, or I didn't think that I was worthy enough to say no. And I recognize that
How
now.
about that? How about that? But
Well,
you know
you
what?
are
Hopefully
worthy,
you
Monica.
talking about it today will help somebody who's watching. Right?
I hope so.
A recent article in the U.S. News and World Report asked if it's okay for teenagers to help their parents pay for expenses around the house. Now, some parents say it's okay for kids to pay for things they want, like clothes and going out with their friends, but draw the line at asking them to help with the rent and groceries. There's also a big debate over whether teens should be helping to pay for their phone plan as well. So, Garcelle, you gonna make them babies pay?
They're going to pay for something. I think they should definitely. I think they should definitely pay for their pay phones if they have a job. I think it's important. It's also a teaching moment. It's teaching them that 30 days come around faster than you think. You know, the bills keep coming, and I think that's really important. But if it comes to paying rent, I don't know if they should, unless obviously the family needs it. If the family needs it, then everybody's got to chip in. But I remember once there was when they were in elementary school, a teacher came in and she said, you know, they should be given allowances, and it's $1 per age. So now I'm up to 13 and $13. But she was saying that it's not giving them money because they're helping around the house. They should help around the house because they're part of the family. But they should get an allowance so they know money management. So they save some, they spend some, and they, you know, give some to charity, which I thought was really, really interesting. So we try to implement that, but now with video games, that's all they want to do is spend their money on video games, which I do not like at all, because I just feel like it's going nowhere that I can see.
Wow.
I hate it.
Do they have jobs, though?
I hate it.
Do they have little jobs, even if it's certain things that you have them do?
Do
they do anything?
They have to make their beds before. Yeah, they have to make their beds before class. They do dishes. They put dishes away.
handsome.
But one day, Jax was like, "Mom, can I have $5 for, you know, some video game?" And I said, "Why don't you earn it?" And he goes, "What can I do?" I said, "Empty the trash, unload the dishwasher," and I said, "and then put the recycling in the recycling bin." And he goes, "Don't you think that's a lot for $5?" I was like, "Go out in the real world and earn $5 and see how long it takes you."
No, that's too much. That's way too much.
That is hilarious.
For $5?
Jax could come over and just empty my trash, and I give him $5. That's you. Oh,
That's Auntie Lonnie right there. That's Auntie Lonnie.
I just give him the $5.
I feel sorry for my kids. I feel like I'm gonna have my kids paying their own phone bills. Just because, you know, my biggest pet peeve is people that are entitled. And I think my biggest fear is that because naturally my kids are going to be raised in a family that's just in a different tax bracket than I was raised in, you know, my biggest fear is that my kids will be entitled, that they won't understand, you know, what it takes to work hard and what it means to not have, what it means to strive for better. And that literally is my biggest fear. It's like, I don't want to raise some spoiled brats that don't understand. Like, yo, people don't have what you have. Like, I need them to really appreciate that, like, yo, I work hard and this is my money. This ain't your money. And I love it because my brother-in-law does it to my nieces all the time. He grew up in the Bronx. He worked hard. He went to Yale. He's a lawyer now. But he tells my nieces, like, when they finish a meal at a restaurant, he looks at them and he's like, "You got your money? You gonna pay for your food? How much did yours cost?" He makes them look like, no, go look at the menu. He's just messing with them. But then they'll sit there for a second and be like, we don't have any money. Like, you're gonna pay, right? And he's like, am I? Am I gonna pay for it?
I think that's why. I get it. I think that's
These
why I go a
kids
little
be
bit
raised
overboard too,
with
because
some
the last thing I want to do
expectation that
is
just
raise
because mommy
entitled
and
kids.
daddy have it. Yeah, I think it's crazy how kids are raised with this expectation that just because mommy and daddy have it, that means I'm set. No, that we're not playing those games over here. And I also say this, and I don't have kids yet, and my husband says, wait till they come, that I'm gonna spoil them.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm saying this on
Exactly
TV, so I hold myself to it.
We'll see.
Yeah, you'll be a mess. They'll be in Gucci flip-flops.
Straight up mess.
Man,
Kids are
All right, we
spoiled
gotta
I'm
take a
so
already.
break.
afraid of that.